Welcome to Let's Play Nioh, Episode 20, The Demon King Revealed, Part 2. This initial part is sped up because it is the same four bosses we fought before. We'll be fighting Onryoki, Hino-enma, Nioh, as well as Jurogumo. I'm not quite sure why they picked these specific yokai. I guess Onryoki, Nioh, they make sense, but Hino-enma as well as Jurogumo were specific things and people. But just quickly going by the battles against them. Let's talk a little bit about Edward Kelley. Edward Kelley was an alchemist. He would have been dead by this time. In the game, the person we have been fighting and chasing after is the historical Edward Kelley somehow. When he talked about Enochian spells, that is the language that Edward Kelley believed in, of angels that spoke to him, that he communicated with, that taught him how to change base metals and do alchemy and magic. The way I interpret it is that these angels, to him, are guardian spirits, and that he's communicating with them and using them to find out about the Amrita. But we'll be learning more about that later on. Oda Nobunaga, what's left to say about him? He's been talked about in so many episodes, so don't mind the dog scratching and chewing my foot. Originally called Kipposhi, he met Takachiyo when they were young, when Takachiyo, later Tokugawa Ieyasu, was a hostage underneath Nobuhide, Nobunaga's father. That was back when Yoshimoto, the leader of the Imagawa clan, was at war with the Oda clan. Nobunaga inherited this feud and ended up having to defeat Yoshimoto at the Battle of Okehazama. After that battle, him and Tokugawa Ieyasu formed a great friendship. They became powerful allies, and that was the sort of stepping stone to all of this. You'll learn more about that in the other LP I'm doing, which is Nobunaga's Ambition Sphere of Influence. Boy, this puppy does not want to stop scratching. Also, that revenant that you see that I can summon, that's Katsue Shibata. I believe that's how to say his name. Or Shibata Katsue. He was originally a retainer of the Oda clan. He served underneath Nobuhide. When Nobuhide died, he went with Nobunaga's brother and split up the Oda clan. Nobunaga defeated them, though. Defeated his brother, and Shibata Katsue ended up joining Nobunaga. Despite being enemies, Nobunaga saw the worth in him and didn't hold grudges. At least, allegedly did not hold grudges. Later on, after Nobunaga's death, he would again oppose Hideyoshi, who took after Nobunaga, and there was even further feuding. In the conquest of the northern regions, Katsue was killed while defending his castle. There are quite a few graves around this level of historical figures, but I can't go into all of them. It would just be too much.
Just in time. I have resurrected the most feared overlord in all Japan, Nobunaga Oda! The flames of war will envelop this country once again!
That's right, you saw him in the intro. It's time to fight Oda Nobunaga, who for some reason has white hair. So Oda Nobunaga is a pretty straightforward fight. His Guardian Spirit allows him to summon from multiple different elements. He can use all of the elements randomly. They have different abilities based on that, such as with water, he'll create splashes of water around. With wind, he'll fire beams from his sword. With earth, he'll create darkness around and big circles on the ground. Fire, he'll jump up with explosions. Lightning, he'll cause lightning bolts to follow you, like Nioh. Mostly, you can just dodge behind him and hit him. Or if you have a Sloth Talisman, cheese him out with that. He's pretty helpless. That was what I was showing off here. On top of that, with the lightning talisman, you can slow him even further. Nobunaga has no weaknesses.
What are you waiting for?
この信長を利用しようとは見くびられたものよ。誰かに使われるのは面白ない。戯れは終わりじゃ。久しぶりに面白い余興であったぞ。この信長の野望、道半ばであったが未練なぞない。猿も狸もわしの敷いた道を歩んでおる。この信長をただの改まとしてよみがえらせようなどと風流のわからぬ漬物よ。跳ねた首、流れた血も茶の湯も舞も混然たる我が生。ウヌアの神のように復活するも悪うはないが、ひとたび生を受け滅せぬもののあるべきか。
Fool of a samurai! You wasted my time!
So that fight, that didn't feel as good as it could have been, did it? Because if I used the Sloth Talisman and cheesed him. Nobunaga has no weaknesses. Sounds like Nobunaga, right? I say sarcastically. Because of... Well, there was the whole being assassinated thing. But yes, he has no weaknesses and is resistant to every single elemental type. To my understanding, I don't think he's resistant to poison or paralysis. I should test that on him sometime. But why don't we get to see what the fight could have been like without the Sloth Talisman? Here I am on another character. This is a much more powerful build. probably a bit more accurate for this level and area. Also wearing the titular armor, the Youngblood armor. Just showing off a bit more of his movement, his styles, his way of attacking, and how fast he really is. Oda Nobunaga, I don't find him to really be one of the tougher fights in the game, despite how late in the game he is. Also, I love Odachi's in this.
thanks to this spirit. I didn't expect to need to use it here. I shall fuse my Uroboros with the Amrita to resurrect this country's most feared Yokai, the serpent Yamata-no-Orochi!
That's right, it is time to fight Yamata-no-Orochi. This creature is one of the oldest yokai of Japanese folklore. The story goes that there was a couple that had to sacrifice a daughter every year to the eight-headed serpent, Yamata-no-Orochi. This mythical couple were met with by Susanoo. Susanoo first transformed into the daughter, the eighth daughter that was to be sacrificed, Then, when Yamata-no-Orochi arrived, they left out very, very powerful sake for it. It drank from the vats of sake, and in doing so became very drunk and entered a slumber. Then, the hero cut up Yamata-no-Orochi, and the rivers nearby filled with its blood. Inside of the body of the creature, he found the katana Kusanagi no Tsurugi. I don't know too much about this myth myself. I'm using yokai.com for this. You should check them out. Yamata-no-Orochi has different weaknesses depending on which head you're attacking. The white horn ones, they're resistant to poison and I think paralysis. Red horned, they're resistant to fire. They're weak to every other element. Blue horn, again, resistant to water, weak to every other element. Green horn is wind. Yellow is lightning. Purple is earth. Wait, I have that backwards, don't I? No, I don't. I think that's right. Yellow is lightning. Purple is earth. Green is wind. And then when you get to the final form, it has no weaknesses and I think is resistant to poison and paralysis. It's hard to keep track. Yamata-no-Orochi isn't too difficult of a fight. The problem is, on this build, I just do not have enough damage. I am just not hitting hard enough on the boss. So let's give that another try. This is going to be a long boss fight because of how little of damage I deal to it. So the main way to fight is that the head will either lunge at you, will slam down, will fling across, will spit fire of some kind, like a fire with an element, or some sort of projectile. All of these can be dodged fairly easily, unless you're me and I'm extremely tired when I recorded this. So I was not playing at my best, and this fight takes a bit too long. After every type of attack they do, they'll lower their neck, their serpent body, towards the edge, and you can hit them. If you get them to smash through the big Amrita crystals, the nearest one will get knocked out for a time from overload. You can back away from any head to help yourself get protected against it. The other heads, you generally want to just get in a few hits and then start dodging back because the others will be firing at you from behind. You cannot fall off here. You can run up against the ledge as much as you want. I'm so thankful for that. Otherwise, this might not have gone so well. I ended up using so many medicines in this fight. It's not a bad opportunity to save them up for here. Again, I should not have been blocking, I should have been dodging. Don't try to block their attacks. This is one boss where it's going to end really poorly. Whenever you kill one, you get their element, so you can move down with each head and keep killing and killing. That way you get the next element that they're weak to, and you can go on to the next head. Whenever you get to the final head, that's when it will transform into one with red horns that are like spikes on the side and are discord colored. Similar to the magic you see that Edward Kelley used. I guess this is a good time to talk about just my thoughts on Nioh. I think it's a game that is flawed, but I really enjoy it. It has its problems with certain difficulty spikes. It's not a very intuitive game at all. The tutorials are definitely not enough. They just don't prepare you when you have difficulty spikes so early on, like against Hino Enma, only third boss of the game, and she's so much tougher than anything around then. And then you go on to fight Nioh and Muneshige, and the Umibozu, and then the Great Centipede, which are all much easier than her. It should be said, this is not the finale. There is one more mission after this, and I will be doing the DLC. Alright, we're on to the final form. It gets all its health back, and now we have to finish it off. It can use all of the other form's abilities. And when you hit it with Amrita from breaking one of the large crystals, it does not get knocked out. Also, I'm going to do something very, very silly. Just so silly for this part. That's coming up in just a moment. Yamata-no-Orochi is almost down. Well, that Rules of Nature thing was probably one of the dumbest things I've done in this LP, but I couldn't resist. I don't know how to actually get that music on my PS4, so playing it with my phone is the best I have. But this is the first ending to the game that we're going to be seeing. I'll be staying quiet for all of it. It's time to go and find Edward Kelley and get back our guardian spirit.
Edward Kelley, you will go to Japan.
It will be as you command, Sir D. this country's Amrita are being taken to him. All of your efforts worthless.
They were not worthless.
You finally did it.
The war is over. With the ninja to span now.
No. There are still rocks Fumin Lord Ieyasu have. Ninja will serve as long as darkness exists. What about you?
I won't trouble you again. Will disappear. I have no desire to be killed.
いいのか？
あいつは侍とは違うと思ったけど、やっぱり同じよ。身勝手で無神経で冷たくて。
信長殿はそんなことを言ったか。はっ。いずれにせよ、お主のおかげで太平の礎を築くことができた。諸将の調略、あやかしの重複、こたびの戦、表裏よりよくぞ支えてくれた。まさに仁王のごとき働きである。
ありがたきお言葉。安心は死に申した。こたびの戦における異国の者どものあやかしの騒ぎ、そして霊石の存在を知る者ももはやおりませぬ。
頂上じゃ。これより天下はあやかしではなく人のよ。関ヶ原が真実はしさねばなるまいの。安心と申す者、生きておれば領を任じようとも志願しておったが、残念にの。
失礼つかまつる。
安心が死んだじゃと。半蔵も嘘が下手じゃ。ついとる化け猫も呆れておった。
全ては巡り巡る。家康はこの後江戸幕府を築き、250年以上の長きにわたる戦乱なき世を作った。